Hey, good morning, team. It is Tuesday, May 14th. I'm Amy Corr. I'm here with Kevin Van Neck.
Good morning.
And here we are at the Goose Island office. And today, I think we have a great topic. I am super excited. We are going to talk about the summer, get ready for it, sizzle. Do you want to do this?
I'm not going to do it because I feel like
sizzle.
We'll maybe end with the sizzle.
The sizzle.
The sizzle. It is the summer sizzle. This is some people's favorite season. It's mine. But summer is a time where we can where I think we're in the middle of the year. Last week we talked about doing the spring audit?
The spring audit.
Yes, we talked about the spring audit. So now it's summer.
Because you got to get ready for the summer sizzle. So you got to do your spring audit to get ready
That's
for
right,
the
to get
summer
here.
sizzle. Yeah.
So last week maybe you talked through the things that you need to change based on the market and what's happened so far in the year and really enhance the things that you're working on that have worked. Summer is a time if you don't plan for it, just like we said before, it's going to end up September, the summer's going to be over and it's going to be a missed opportunity.
Yep.
So now's the time to really plan for how you're going to engage with people over the summer. I know in Chicago, right, this is what people live for. So it's a time to really be with people, leverage your relationships. Everyone's happy and smiling. The sun's out, it's warm.
Yep.
And activities, now's the time to take advantage of all the things you could do with your top A's, all the people to really foster those relationships for your business.
Yeah, but it's like anything, and it's what we talked about last week also, which is if you don't think about it now, then the summer's going to go by and you're going to look at, here are all the things that I should have done, right?
Regret.
So last week you did a great job taking a look at your business, where it's at now, things that you need to do. And so now I think it's, okay, let's lay the foundation for an amazing summer period of time. Because, rule of thumb, we always talk about it, is what you do now is going to impact your next 90 to 120 days.
That's right.
Spring market was pushing, moving. We know we had, in certain markets, issues or problems with inventory, but regardless, there's still a lot of people that are out there trying to buy and trying to sell.
That's right.
And so it's really just making sure, what can I be doing to create great success in what I think is the best time of year to get in front of people. So rule number one is let's take a look at the budget. We've got to figure out, what are we comfortable spending, whether it's big or small.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the smaller budgets can truly go a long way. But
sure.
It's taking a look now, kind of mapping out your calendar for, we're in May right now, but let's take a look at June, July, and August, and really start determining what are some things that I want to calendar, and then what can I budget for, and what is it that I can plan on doing, and get it in the calendar now. Because again, if you don't start looking at it right now here in May, the summer is going to pass you by. And I've had so many agents who always look back and say, I just didn't have my act together. So this is your public service announcement. Time to get your summer sizzle act together.
That's right. Yes, don't end up, it's so hard to make up business in September. So you're 90 to 120 days. You ever end up in the fall and you need to close X to hit your goal or to hit your income goal or whatever it might be, now's the time to start making that happen.
Yeah. And I think we sometimes want to take our foot off the gas. I get it. Weather's nice. And what I love about it though, is it doesn't mean that you can't have fun.
Right.
So many of the things that you can be doing, it's really about getting out and deepening your relationships and engaging with people face to face, getting out and meeting people for coffees, for drinks, meeting them, at different events, maybe being the one to create the event if you're not getting invited to enough stuff, right? But it's just being intentional as opposed to hoping for the best and hoping that certain interactions may happen that will lead to your business success.
So budgeting, you said. I know sometimes agents struggle with coming up with ideas, right? So what should I do? We talk about pop buys quite a bit, and that's something that's been talked about forever, but coming up with unique ideas or something that stands out and something that's fun to do or build or give.
Yep.
I know you see a lot of that with agents and what they're doing. What are some of the ideas that
I love the summer stuff that agents do. I think two of the biggest ones that I see that are really cost effective is they do either a seasoning package, a package of 3 different barbecue seasonings for summer.
For their sizzle.
For their sizzle. And one thing to note, we are in May, but guess what happens in June? Father's Day. And I always feel like the dads don't always get noticed as much. So a great opportunity, you know, a 3-pack of some awesome barbecue seasoning, doesn't cost a ton. You can get them on Amazon, or there's some really cool local shops.
Yes.
I know for us, so wherever you're at, I'm sure there's local places. But again, not a lot of money. It's just thinking about it ahead of time so you can be ready. One of my other favorites for summertime, super easy, is to put together a really easy s'mores package.
Right.
You know, some graham crackers, marshmallows, chocolate, little things that you can toast over the fire. Again, it doesn't take a lot of money to put these things together. It's just sort of planning for it ahead of time.
Yeah.
So those are two. I know that I already am talking to agents about how they are, you know, planning, getting all of this stuff organized and getting it ready for a rollout. You know, you've got Memorial Day coming up at the end of May,
Right.
A great time to, again, drop either of these things off. So,
Yes.
you know, starting to think now, what is my plan with some of these Popeyes? I love it.
That's great. The day before Memorial Day, you don't want to be packaging things
Right.
up and trying to drop them off.
Right.
You mentioned events. Like, this is a time to do things with people. So this is an opportunity for us with our top A's, with those ambassadors. We talked about them last week and
Yep.
trying to leverage those. This is a time where you mentioned creating the event. So it's a time where maybe you set up a golfing foursome. If you golf, right? If you don't golf, okay. There are other ideas we have
Or outdoor
too.
pickle. Anybody out there play pickle?
See, I don't
Yeah.
pickle. I've never pickled.
Kevin doesn't pickle. We're going to have to get him to figure out how to pickle. Well, it's pretty fun.
That's
but in
right.
the summer, it's awesome. There's tons of outdoor courts, and it's usually really easy to reserve them. So, you know, maybe get yourself and 7 other people and have, you know, 2 different games going, and then go and
spend
grab
time.
drinks or
Yes.
pizza afterwards. You know, it doesn't have to be, I think, anything super crazy. Again, it's more about taking the time right now. What we're trying to help you with is to think about it now so that you can execute the plan. What I also love, and a lot of agents did last year and was really successful and really super easy, is just finding your local ice cream store, whatever that might
That's a
be,
good one.
and then just pick a Saturday in the summertime and make it like 2 to 4, and make it like an open house. But basically, you know, it's the scoop event. Just come and have a scoop of ice cream on me. Bring your friends, bring your family, you know, so whoever shows up, you pay for a $5 scoop of ice cream for them to have. And the nice thing about it being kind of an open house style is they don't feel the pressure of, I've got to be there from 2 to 4. It's pop on by if you've got a few minutes in between your busy Saturday schedule, would love to see you. So you aren't having to host at your place. You don't have to bring a lot of things
Clean up,
in.
set
It's
up.
literally just creating an opportunity and just paying for the treat that they're going to receive there. So I know a lot of agents do that, and that's been hugely successful.
I love
So,
that. And so there's been a couple teams and people that have taken it further, and they've gotten ice cream trucks
Yeah.
to drive through all the communities where they
Yeah.
have clients or top referral sources and all of that.
Yeah.
And I know that's been huge success. A little bit more planning, a little bit more on the budget side.
Yeah.
But I know that's been really cool. So I feel like, you know, and again with the events, whether it's pickle or golf, I feel like this is an opportunity too. You have the short, small commitment things where it's a pop by or they stop by for ice cream or an iced coffee. And then spending 4 hours though with somebody on the golf course or spending time on the pickleball court.
Yep.
Spending time, conversation's going to happen. The relationship's going to be fostered.
Yeah.
You're really going to get to know that person, and they're really going to feel like you're getting to know them.
Yeah, well, I just think part of our business is that authenticity piece.
Right.
And, you know, you don't always get that in, you know, a 10-minute phone call. Not that you don't get that, but it's like, how do I get it from a 10-minute phone conversation to really starting to connect with some of these people in my database? You know, because I really believe that agents who cultivate a great business, it's because they're working with people that are really like them, like the same things. It's
Right.
really easy to engage because there's a lot of common interests. And when they think the same way, it's when they're getting ready to work with you, they already have that trust built in, so they aren't questioning some of the things that I know, you know, a lot of us get, like our commission or what are we going to bring to the table. They're seeing that
Right.
just in and about all of the other things that we're doing. So that's why I love, you know, summertime. I love the opportunity. Summertime for me, for agents, I always say this is the best opportunity to get face-to-face and man-to-man or woman-to-woman, right? However
Absolutely.
we look at it, just because it's the time of year too where, I don't know why, but we're all in a better mood, right? It's kids are out of school, and even if we're busier and we're working, there's just something easygoing about the feel of summer. And I feel like people stop and are more willing to engage, are more willing willing to participate in stuff.
Yeah.
And so let's make those opportunities available to them so that we get them to yes and get them to be in front of us. And, I know in Chicago, it's like the sprint, right? Actually, our May has been pretty nice, but it's like May through September, we lock and load because it is the best time of year and everybody is in a good mood, right?
Yeah.
Even if our Cubs or our Sox aren't performing that well, everyone's still in a good mood.
Some people say it's the reason they live in Chicago.
Yeah.
For the
true.
summer. That's it
true.
for that 3-4 month stretch. And hopefully this year it continues and we have another good
Yeah,
summer.
the suffering is worth it.
I feel like, yes. I feel like, another thing that we really need to think about, you started with budget. So not everyone has the same budget. We talked about an ice cream truck. We talked about all these ideas. You started with s'mores and some of these really low cost ideas. You can also partner. Now, talk with your managing broker or your leadership team or whomever to make sure that you're not violating anything in this partnership and contribution. But a lot of agents partner with their loan officer or their closing attorney or their title company. And through that, they're able to get something more impressive than they would have been able to do on their own, or something that's more impactful, something that creates more of a buzz. A couple of things that I know that have happened specific to Chicago and the Cubs. I know that an agent partnered with their loan officer and they rented out a rooftop around Wrigley.
Awesome.
And they brought 60 people. And
That's
I know
great.
I saw on social media, everyone's taking pictures. They're all tagging their agent. It was really cool. But that agent didn't fund it themselves. They partnered with somebody.
Yeah.
So partner up with somebody to allow yourself to do something bigger.
Yeah.
It also helps with planning or cleanup or setup too.
Yeah, I love that. Ooh, one other day to keep in mind as we are nearing the end of school. And there was a team last year who partnered with their mortgage lender, and they brought an ice cream truck to the last day of school because all their kids were at the same school. And so it was last day of school ice cream truck, and they sponsored it, and the kids loved it.
That's
so
awesome.
it's just about being creative, thinking about what can I be doing and what can I be planning for now to make an impact over these upcoming months.
Planning.
So, yep, we gave you some really great ideas, some, brain starters, we hope, to get that sizzle going. I'm envisioning Kevin this summer. Don't you see this? Him, at a grill, sizzling and flipping burgers.
Love grilling. It's such a great picture.
Maybe you should invite
right?
everybody to Kevin's grilling party.
There we go.
We'll try to make that happen. All right. On that
Watch
note.
for your invite.
On that note, make it a great Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. We hope you got some great ideas for your summer sizzle. And until we see you next time, remember, you got this.